Peace, salute, comrade, salute, revolutionary salute. What's good? It was goody, good evening. Was good evening, all right? This is the Underlock and Key Show with Malik Alain. I am the chairman of the Noble Young Lord Party. Yes, the tools are in. The tools are in. The symbol for the Noble Young Lord Party. We got that. You know what I'm saying? Hunting season. So basically, like different fundraising activities. That's how we would do it. So like networking activities will also be considered as fundraising activities. All right. So for example, so such as they have like the UEP New and Gun Club. So therefore, those who don't have a felony, and get that license, boom, you can have a legitimate gun club. All right. For those who got that license to bear arms, could do mad different things. Now saying community patrol, militias. I just found out that it states that even in New York State, you can have an unregulated militia, right? And they won't really fuck with you. They won't fuck with you as long as you categorized as an unregulated militia, meaning you can have your arms, feel me? Now I'm saying, so it's like as long as you don't have a felony. Now if you do have a felony, now this is what the movement is gonna be about, which is restorative justice. That once you finish with your prison time, to get your rights back. Get your rights back, you get that gun license, Second Amendment, And the one that's gonna be pushing this, right? You see how they have the NRA, which is the National Rifle Association. Well, now you have what they call the Socialist Rifle Association. That's right, the Socialist Rifle Association. So you have a lot of militias that's with the alt-right, really. You know what I'm saying? But militias from the left, you know what I'm saying? They analyze militias for the right because you still have a freedom of speech, even though we don't agree with them ideologically, but they have a freedom of speech. They have the right to bear arms, just like we have the right to bear arms. We're not gonna fall for that Trojan horse to tell people that take away their guns and do gun control and stuff like that. No, that's the Trojan horse. Those are the Trotskyites. The Trotskyites, the liberals. Those are the fake socialists that come on talking about social democracy. You know what I'm saying? Because social democracy, these are the ones that, you got to be careful with them because they can make laws and, they'll utilize the left, which is the majority of the people, right, who's not part of the elite, the petty bourgeoisie. So they'll utilize the left to go to these mass movements, to do these, looting and whatever the case may be. But then now, once the main politicians get what they get, the petty bourgeoisie, boom, they still gonna have to come down, and you know how that go. Boom, they're gonna have to sacrifice a lot. Same thing what happened to January 6th. Ask yourself this. They know Oath Keepers was there. They know the 3%ers was there. They know the Proud Boys was there. And they said, yeah, some people from the left and so what, but the left did not go into the Capitol. The left was there in the beginning and left. Now I'm saying the storm was the alt-right. But if you notice, none of the Oath Keepers, which are the law enforcement and stuff like that, came to light. If you notice that. Everyone else, yeah, like, this person was in the military, but he's not in the military now, or this person, they'll get everybody else, but not the motherfucking Lord. Come on, why you think Trump took all the motherfucking neo-Nazis and took all these other people that was on the watch list, by the NAACP and also by the ADL, you know what I'm saying, which is the Jewish League, like, they make sure that these neo-Nazis and Ku Klux Klans and these fascist organizations, was on the watch list, right? But under Trump, because Trump is a fascist, like, he did what he did. Like, he took all these racists, all these fascist organizations off the watch list, and what he did was he put identity politics. You feel me? Identity politics are like, Boricua, pa que lo sepa, things like that. Black Lives Matter, things like that are now considered, to be watched, to be monitored. And mind you, the Boricuas freedom fighters, right, that did like 25 years in prison, these was not macheteros. Now I'm saying, the ones that got released by Bill Clinton, they were not macheteros. Now, yeah, macheteros that like one or two was like for example, like Oscar Rivera. Now I'm saying, I'm not sure if Oscar Rivera was a machetero, but I believe he was affiliated with either machetero or FAON. You know what I mean? Just like Ojeda Rios, you know what I mean, the one that the FBI assassinated on the anniversary of El Grito de Lares. How yo? That's an insult to the Puerto Ricans, yo. Like that was on September 23rd. Now, because September 23rd is the Puerto Rican anniversary for El Grito de Lares, which is when we fought for the independence of Puerto Rico. And Spain gave us our autonomy. And when you look up autonomy, autonomy means sovereign, meaning self rule. But they had a Spanish American War, and see, at one time Spain, Spain was the imperial power at that time, and mind you, Spain had just came into imperial power in the 1400s, because prior to the 1400s, Spain was an Islamic country when it was a golden empire, and it was not tyrannic, and it was not oppressive nor exploitative of any other groups of people, and all religions was able to live amongst them, without being harmed by the other group. So Jews, Christians, and Muslims was all living in peace in Muslim Spain. You know what I mean? In fact, that's where they had the free universities. That's where people was coming from all over the world. You know what I mean? Algebra, all that comes, you know what I mean? People say with Egypt, it's really Arabic. You know what I'm saying? And whether they came from Egypt, Command, God, mind you, the thing with the Moors in Spain is that the Moors, right, the Muslims and all that, particularly, see, not all Moors are Muslims, but for Spain, they were Muslims, right? And what they did was that when they went to these other areas, whatever, because they also, the Midianites, you know what I mean? Those was like the nomads and whatnot, and those, they became Islamicized as well too. But prior to this becoming Islamicized, these was pirates and whatnot, and they used to take things and also information, and they studied this information, and what they did was they preserved the knowledge, they preserved the wisdom, and then, they had a nice university and was able to bring Europe out of the darkness, because mind you, Europe was in darkness until Muslim Spain from 700 to 1492 took Europe and the rest of the humanity out of darkness. You know what I'm saying? Alhamdulillah. And you gotta understand the Crusades, which was by the Catholics, actually the Jesuits, they the ones who started this whole religious wars, the Crusades. Now I'm saying they the one who started this whole. They infiltrated the church. They infiltrated the Muslims too, and cause you had Muslims that was bought. You know what I mean? And that's why that show Arturo about the Ottoman Empire, which was like the first Islamic state, right? And then I guess the Moors was the second. You had different empires. You had the Ottoman Empire, the Umayyad Empire, the Abbasid Empire. Like in Spain, that was the Abbasid Empire and the Umayyad Empire, and they also connected to Mali. Now, mind you, in Mali, right? They had all the gold, like, you know what I mean, the wisdom and all that. Abu Bakr. See, that's what they don't teach you in school. See, like a lot of people are saying, all right, now check this out. The Moors came here first, right? The Moors. Now, I mean, these was blacks from Africa, not saying, and some was Muslim, some was not. Boom, came to America before Columbus, not saying, and that's why you would have melanated people who would tell you not to call them African American or not to call them black because they consider themselves indigenous or more. You know what I'm saying? Because the fact is that they come from more, and that's that's history. I mean, you can't alter that. So now you have Abu Bakr, you have Mansa Musa, you know what I mean? Which no one had topped his riches to this day. And this guy was so rich that he used to, give charity to different countries when he was making Hajj. And he was the one that was responsible for building the empire in Timbuktu, the Islamic schools and the caliphs and all that. You know what I mean? But they're not going to teach you this in regular school. You know what I mean? They might not even teach you this in college because it all depends what type of class you're taking up in college. Like, if you take black studies or Boricua studies or African studies, depending on the professor, then you might get that. But if you're not taking no type of studies of those three particular categories, which is African studies, Boricua studies, Latino studies, then you're not going to catch that. And that's why they got a book out there called The Book That They Don't Want You to Read. The book on history that the teacher did not teach. What they didn't teach us. What else? The red book that the church doesn't want you to read. Blackout through whitewash. Now Valley contribution to civilization. Stolen legacy. Miseducation of the Negro. From niggas to gods. Part 1 and part 2. Urban decoded. Hip hop decoded. Message to the black man. I mean, the list goes on. War against all Puerto Ricans. the Puerto Rican movement, prisoners of colonialism, the struggle for justice in Puerto Rico. I mean, listen, I've done read over thousands of books, you know what I'm saying, in my lifetime. And yo, and now they digitizing these books, you know. So this is, I mean, that's why the study group, the first study group is gonna be dealing with the war against all Puerto Ricans. The second study group is gonna be dealing with the Chicanos, you know what I'm saying, with the Aslan brothers and whatnot. And the one that's sponsoring and monitoring, that's gonna be producing the newspapers, things of that nature, is our sponsors is the Myris International Ministry of Prisons. They are the ones who sponsors the Noble Young Lord Party. That is the reason why in our PCM, you'll notice that, all right, the Noble Young Lords Party and the Young Lords Party, the original Young Lord Party, the original Young Lord Party got 13 points. Now, Noble Young Lord Party, we got 10 points. I mean, a 10-point platform. Just like how the Black Panthers had a 10-point platform. But Young Lords have 13 points. Now, Noble Young Lords, now, let me see if I should have it right here. Give me one moment. We're going to take a little commercial. All right, where's the paper? Where's it at? Where's the paper at? Where is it at? Okay, I'm back. I'm back. All right, salute for those who just tuning in. So here we go. So now, the definition of the coat of arms. I will do that next. First, let me do the 10-point platform. Now, I was supposed to make copies of this today, but I forgot. Alright, so here we go. Let's see. First we're gonna get the 10-point platform. I could have sworn I printed it out. Wait a minute. Here we go. Alright. So this is the Noble Young Lord Party program, the 10-point program. Alright, and this is the original Young Lord Party program, 13-point program. So now I'm gonna say the original one first, and then I'm gonna give you ours. So the original Young Lord Party 13-point program and platform is the following. Number 1, we want self-determination for Puerto Ricans, liberation of the island and inside the United States. Number 2, we want self-determination for all Latinos. Number 3, we want liberations of all third world people. Number 4, we are revolutionary nationalists and oppose racism. Number 5, we want equality for women, down with machismo and male chauvinism. Number 6, we want community control of our institutions and land. Community control. Boom. We want, number 7, we want a true education of our Creole culture and Spanish language. Number 8, we oppose capitalists and alliances with traitors. Number 9, we oppose the American military. Number 10, we want freedom for all political prisoners. Number 11, we are internationalists. Number 12, we believe armed self-defense and armed struggle are the only means to liberation. Number 13, we want a socialist society. So that's the original Young Lord Party program, right? So now, this is the Noble Young Lord Party program. So number 1, we want communism. We believe that anyone who opposes all oppression and power groups over groups is a communist. This includes opposition to national oppression, class oppression, and gender oppression. Number 2, we want socialism. We believe that socialism is the path to communism. We believe that the current dictatorship of the bourgeoisie oppresses the world majority, including internal colonies, black nation, Caribbean First Nations, Mexico, Central, and South America. We believe that socialism, the dictatorship of the proletariat and peasantry, all the truly oppressed, is a necessary step towards a world without inequality or oppressive dictatorship. We uphold the USSR under Lenin and Stalin between the era of 1917 and 1915, and China under Mao between the era of 1949 and 1976 as models in this regards. Number three, we want organization. We believe that democratic centralism, the system of unifying application of majority decisions, is necessary to defeat the oppressors. This system includes organization, leadership, discipline, and hierarchy. The oppressors use these weapons and will use them against the oppressor. By building a disciplined socialist vanguard party, we follow the traditions of comrades Lenin, Mao, and Huey P. Newton. Number four, we want a united front against imperialism. We believe that the imperialists are waging a World War III against eternal Latino nations, black nations, First Nations, various Asian nations, and the international proletariat, peasantry. We seek to unite proletariat and feminist leadership against imperialism, capitalism, and patriarchy. We believe that the imperialist country working classes are primarily a pro-imperialist labor aristocracy. Likewise, we believe that the biological women of the imperialist countries are primarily a gender aristocrat. We'll work with either groups and other reactionary groups to dismantle oppression, that we do not seek strategic unity with them. Peace. In fact, we believe that the labor aristocrat, bourgeoisie, petty bourgeoisie, and imperialist biological woman owe reparations to the international proletariat and peasantry. As such, upon women's state power, the international proletariat will be necessary in order that the labor aristocrat will be on the receiving end of the dictatorship until such time that their practice is non-oppressive. Number five, we want equality for women. While we have established that imperialist biological women are indeed, by their own general practice, supporters of imperialism, we also recognize that women hold on general or secondary status as opposed to men. Therefore, we unite with the cause of true feminism against patriarchy. We believe that the only truly effective way that patriarchy can be eliminated is by concentrating our efforts against the principal contradictions that struggle against the oppressor by the proletariat. The destruction of imperialism and its replacement by the dictatorship of the proletariat is the destruction of patriarchy. We will struggle alongside our sisters in the fight for social and economic equality. Number six, we want community control of our institutions and lands. We believe in the people's control of our communities and all its programs to guarantee that all institutions serve the needs of our people. This means people's control of police, health service, churches, schools, masjids, housing, and transportation. We believe there should be an end to attacks on our land by urban renewal, highway construction, rezoning, waste disposal, industrial pollution, and corporate takeovers of the people's property, because they are paid by the people's tax-paying dollars. We want correct adjudication for all political prisoners. We believe that all prisoners, regardless of their crimes, minus rate, are political prisoners based on the fact that it is impossible for imperialism to create and maintain an objective system of justice. We believe that objective justice can only come from the people. We believe a people's tribunal should review the alleged offenses in order to consider the guilt or innocence of the alleged offender. Until such a day comes, we believe that imperialist prisoners are illegally imprisoned. Now, let me take a break, take a little water. Okay, number 8. We want self-determination for Latino nations, First Nations, Asian nations, and the Black nations. We believe that our oppressed people, all oppressed people, will not be free until they are able to determine their decisions. We look forward to the day when oppressed people will live without imperialist police terror and will learn to speak their mind without fear of consequences from the oppressor. When this day comes, meaningful plebiscites can be held in which the peoples will decide for themselves if they want their own separate nation states or some other arrangement. Number 9, we want revolutionary armed struggle. We are opposed to violence. The violence of hungry children, illiterate adults, diseased old people, and the violence of poverty and profit. We know that in the third world, the American economy is deadlier than a .38 caliber to the head. Our people have asked, petitioned, gone to court, demonstrated peacefully, and voted politicians full of empty promises and favors with heavy interest, but we still ain't free. We believe that the oppressors would not give up their power without a fight. Ending oppressors is only possible by building public opinion to seize power through armed struggle. We believe, however, that armed struggle in the imperialist countries is a serious strategic mistake until the bourgeoisie becomes helpless. Revolutionary will become a reality for North America as the U.S. military will become a reality for North America as the U.S. military becomes overextended and the government attempts to maintain world hegemony. When the government oppresses our people, we have a right to abolish it. How you doing? And create a better one. Number 10, we want world revolution. Our people are brainwashed by television, radio, media, schools, books to oppose our friends in other countries, say power to the people, fighting for their freedom, and to embrace our enemies. No longer will we believe in their lies because we have learned who the real enemy is and who our real friends are. Excuse me, Annalisa. Alright. We believe it is our duty to support Marxist revolution everywhere. Through our principal task is to build public opinion and independent institutions in preparation for Marxist revolution in North America. The imperialists think and act globally, so we must combat that by doing the same. Now that is our 10-point program, all right, for the Noble Yolo Party. Now this is another thing to add on about the Noble Yolo Party, right? Now this is April 10th, 2021. Now the Noble Yolo Party was founded on July 1st of 2001. The New York State chapter was established in January 19, 2021. Now, the Noble Yolo Party, North America, right, enjoins the Noble Yolo Party, expressed clearly our 10-point program and the distinction between the proletariat and the imperialist labor aristocrat. Basically, the two are incompatible, since as it stands, the latter since the imperialists. However, like our fraternal comrades in My Way's International Ministry, we feel now it is necessary to gain as much sympathy as possible for our communism without giving in to parasitic demands of the enemy classes of imperialism. The following platform lets the middle class know that our goals clearly encompass results that we can both agree are good for working class. Now, we hope to receive responses that will help perfect the platform. We ask that you show in terms of cause and effect how our platform is good for the people and to write more plans for approval in our party Congress. We can consider this platform a work in progress. Alrighty. So now, the other thing about the Noble Yolo Party, right? It says, hold up. Okay. the mistake of defying the original Young Law Party. All right? So this is what it says. Now, you say why they committed a mistake. Well, you gotta understand these brothers was incarcerated. They are incarcerated. They're doing 25 years and better. It says, on the mistake of defying the original Young Law Party. It says, when I was involved in the All My Land King Queen Nation, there were many factional conflicts, some of which, unfortunately, I took part in. The greatest argument of these were who were the original representatives of the All My Land King Queen Nation and who were the fakes. Now the pigs, they capitalized this further in order to divide the national regional cohesion of the All My Land King Queen Nation. Right? The pigs used the All My Land King Queen Nation, right? Greatest weakness, which is the membership, codependence on charismatic leadership. No, we can never go back to a bygone era, but we can always have a better era. All right? That's why a new era is needed, and this is why. Oh,
I broke the pool in there. Don't be mad at me.
I'm not mad. Wait, I'm finished. All right, on the mistake of defining the original Young Lords Party. So the pigs capitalized this further in order to divide the national regional cohesion of the All My Land King Queen Nation. The pigs used the All My Land King Queen Nation's greatest weakness, which is the membership codependence on charismatic leadership, instead of using the more advanced democratic centralism method of leadership to considerably weaken them. It was a counter-intelligence program suggested by the pigs' imperialist ally, the National Gang Crime Research Center, in 1996. Oh, shit. Look at that. And you know what happened? Oh, 1996. Wait a minute. I got sentenced in 1996 when I was 16 in March in Rikers Island. 1996. Yo. Wait a minute. I think about, did anyone even got sentenced in 96? Yo, this shit is crazy. Wow. The National Gang Crime Research Center in 1996, headed at that time by Professor George Knox. This the motherfucker right here. George Knox is the gang intelligence motherfucker that did the whole war against the Kings. That's his name. It says, as a gang, wow, they got All My Land King Queen Nation as a gang. That's fucked up. Have often taken advantage of any political corruption they could. These two branches, the North Side and South Side, also they talking about Chi-Town, probably, have always existed in a tenuous competition with each other. If these two leaders were in federal custody, facing federal charges, then a secession crisis would ensure. Now, with the pigs, subtle innuendo, and legal jargon, there was no doubt that the pigs intended and effectively used a more subtle and advanced counterintelligence program against the All My Land King Queen Nation. And the rules worked. The national leaders were federally convicted, and secession crisis did ensue as predicted and remains a major divisive issue today. Wow. And the new millennium, the counterintelligence program are much more clever. They're much more clever. The objective of the pigs is to legalize as many counterintelligence program tactics as they can get away with by taking advantage of words. See, that's why, hold up. See, that's why we say no We're Party. We stand against terrorism, domestic and foreign. Because look at this shit. They use tactics such as words as domestic terrorist, security threat group. No, We're Party is not a gang. We're not a street organization. We are not a club. The Noble Young Party, it is not even a terrorist organization. We are a social political party. And we're going to have many other units come out of it, such as the militia, such as the community control unit, things of that nature. All right. So all tactics that were used against the American Indian movement, the Black Panther Party, and the original Young Lords Party, right, can now be found legalized with the RICO law. Look at that. And the Homeland Security status, every American crisis brings us that much closer to legalizing police state tactics for the alleged higher cost of living and safer American community. It is for this reason that the Noble Young Lords Party is careful not to fall into this new millennium counterintelligence program. We will analyze the past of the original Young Lords Party in order to revive their righteous practice, because that is the revolutionary thing to do. However, it is bad practice to defy or place above the original Young Lord Party in comparison to the Noble Young Lords Party, because the original Young Lords Party came out first. Now, our only competition should be how we can best serve the party. Moreover, the masses. We accept in the most welcome manner correct revolutionary dialectics from those original members of the Young Lords. We welcome this, but we are careful to recognize sincere, productive, revolutionary comments and criticism, revolutionary criticism. We use Eldridge Cleaver for the original Black Panther Party to illustrate our point. He said and taught us some righteous lessons during his time as a Black Panther, both through his correct and incorrect practice. When he became a supporter of the imperialist regime, his criticism against the party and Black Liberation Army were no longer valid. Somehow he lost his mental youth, his revolutionary confidence, and yet, since he was a respected member of the revolutionary community, some comrades pay attention to his lesser advanced, fucked up method of analysis. If it ain't a dialectical, materialist method of analysis, then it is a lesser advanced method of analysis for ours. There is a little doubt that a popular method of attack will be to publicly put original Young Lords against the Noble Young Lords, but let them try to do that, because that won't happen. You know why that won't happen? Because Malik Alim done spoke to the original Young Lords. Malik Alim done spoke to the New Era Young Lords. Malik Alim done spoke to the Brown Berets. Malik Alim done spoke to the Black Panthers. So Noble Young Lord Party, we valid, we good, we solid. All right. So it says we are prepared for this, and we recognize this action for what it is, an attempt to break the revolutionary struggle of a generation. Eso no va a pasar. Now, tell me this. If a 60-year-old political party deteriorated, right, into a revisionist, now they revisionist, ultra-leftist party. Now, we are what they call an ultra-leftist party. I don't really like that, but that's how they says it here. I can't, alter this, but I can make new proposals for new stuff, but I can't alter this. So, ultra-leftist party, ain't that about a bitch? All right, so it is what it is. I mean, I'm going to speak to them like, I don't think we should be calling ourselves ultra-leftist, just say left. But it is what it is. All right, the party maintained an exemplary socialist standard. Which party should be the vanguard? The Noble Young Lord Party. The party, the cadre, the comrade who carries the most correct and selfless socialist standards that should be the central guidance to those that strive to obtain those same standards or better. So all that who's the original and who is fake is bullshit to the Noble Young Lord. See, we place the value of a party or organization not solely on who was here first, but in its greater revolutionary practice. We love you and salute your original Young Lord Party, as well as other vanguard parties that paved the way for our existence. We honor you by adopting the beautiful name you once claimed, but made the funk, and we made the word Lord genderless. So that means the male and female could both use the word Lord. All right? In the same way that Nefertiti was Pharaoh, we learn from your insightful efforts, your literature, and we criticize your lesser advanced theories and practice. We can never replace you, but we will do our best to succeed you. One Lord equals one people. Stay noble. That's the mistake of defining the original Young Lord Party, right? So now let me see what else. What's next? Now it says about the party and its comradeship. Now this one right here is long. All right. So the other one is called Methods of Preventing New Millennium Counterintelligence Program. All right, so peep this out. Now I don't know if I should be even seeing this one on video, but it is because the PCM is for the public, so I can say this on video. And what we have is not gonna be published on this. So what's published? Trust me, Noble Young Lord Party, once everything's together, won't be published. All right, so methods of preventing new millennium counterintelligence program. This is to prevent the new attack, the new onslaught of counterintelligence program, right? You know, you gotta have your CB radios, your scanners, your ham radios. You gotta have all that. You gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta act like you living off the grid. All right. We can quote tons of facts about counterintelligence program of the United States government against political groups such as the American Indian Movement, the Black Panther Party, and yes, even the original Young Lord Party. This subject has been documented by the book Agents of Repression. You gotta peep that book out. Agents of Repression, the FBI's secret wars against the Black Panther Party and the American Indian Movement, by Ward Churchill and Jim Vanderwall. This is a required reading book. One of the key weaknesses of the aforementioned party's organization was their public exposure. The pigs were more able to dismantle and divide those they were able to identify as key political figures. We call ourselves that semi-underground political party not because we maintain a criminal consciousness of guilt, rather because we wish to avoid oppressive hardship that our predecessors endured. With this in mind, no comrade shall publicly identify themselves on a personal or social level as a comrade of Noble Young Lord Party. So you will not see no one else other than me, all right, talking about the Noble Young Lord Party. If they do, they'll do so in their own way, because that's what it says right here. One must find that difficult but possible means of positively propagandizing the Noble Young Lord Party without admission to comradeship within the party to a non-comrade of the party. No public discussion of the party inner structure and inner functions are permissible, just like the nation. However, general politics topics about the PCN, like what I'm doing right now, and general struggles are not an issue. Now, when some ask a pick question, I don't know, is the best answer. Or I don't remember. I don't recall. If you're going to use a nickname within the party, it must not be one that you have used or do use socially in the public community, or one that you use in public correspondence. This means for internal purposes of the party, you need to invent a new nickname, and any public mention of the nickname or addressing the comrade publicity by the nickname will be seen as a serious privacy violation. Whether it's done by you or another comrade, if in private you're speaking about a person with cadre leadership responsibility, instead of mentioning his or her name, just familiarize yourself with the initials of his or her rank and address him or her by those initials. This way, if some nosy person is listening, right, they'll find it hard to identify who holds specific responsibilities, you dig? This is very important. I guarantee you, I can't say guarantee, but I got a feeling that the macheteros, that this part right here came from the macheteros. Because the macheteros operate like this, know what I mean? Every CM and AC will be given an IDC, Identity Designation Code. The IDC will include the status of your comradeship, meaning whether you're a comrade member or an anti-imperialist comrade, the regional designation code where you registered, the state where you registered as a party comrade, and a personal designation code. So mind you, so if anyone out there is talking about they know Young Lord, ask them if they registered. And then run that with me, you heard? And I'll let you know if they registered or not. A personal designation code given to you by the RCC Regional Central Committee, wow, of the prospective regions. The PDC should be given in non-consecutive numbers. This way it's hard to track growth when the PDC numbers are non-consecutive. No two comrades can have the same PDC number within that region. Only the Party National Central Committee is authorized to award a designation for the Regional Central Committee in order to ensure that every regional cadre is in fact authentic. If a CM is promoted to regional responsibilities, it is the responsibilities of the RCC comrade to register for a new registration IDC with the National Central Committee. Alright, so I see what I gotta do. For any comrade, an IDC is awarded after your probation period. An example of an IDC is provided. CM0505. The first two letters are his or her SOC, which indicates whether he or she a CM or AC. The second two numbers are the RDC, which indicates the region, which is the state, where she or he registered, and the last numbers are the PDC, which is designated by the RCC. The PDC doesn't have to be a two-digit number. It can be one digit or more than two digits. Communication is paramount. Now, it also states, the first immediate goal of the local, regional, national cadre, which is here in New York, is to establish a command center, right? Mind you, gotta have a command center. That command center includes a personal computer, a printer, a scanner, an internet, access to a vehicle in good condition. Collect calls, acceptable, meaning you gotta be able to collect calls from the comrades in prison. Local, regional, national, qualified minister of information. The cadre should make a command center in the community the first objective, even before the growth of the comradeship, if it is financially possible and the resources are available. This cannot be stressed often enough. A command center is forever necessary, and a backup command center unrelated to the first command center is even better. Make this a top priority. Otherwise, you will find it more difficult to achieve goals than you realize. Without command centers, it is also easier for pigs to create COINTELPRO. So you see, the command center is work in progress. Now, by not having a reliable central structure that's able to authenticate comrades and authorize people's project, the National Command Center is called the National Headquarters. The Regional Command Center is called Command Central Regional. The Local Command Center is called Command Central Local. These command centers are not centers of authority, but local, regional, national, and party national congress communicate or carry via these centers. They're message centers, to put it simply. All right. So we got to find out what's really good. You know what I mean? Is New York the national, or is New York the Command Central Regional, or Command Central Local? That's what we got to find out, right? Got to write some letters. All right, cool. So now this right here, this is the application right here, right? This is the application of the Noble Young Lords Party. It's called Noble Activist Application. So for those of y'all that's interested of the Noble Young Lords Party, want to know more about the Noble Young Lords Party, this is the application, right? Now, in the application, it says dishonest answers to this application will be cause for expulsion. So we're going to ask for your name, your address, your phone number. Enclose a recent photo of yourself with this application. On another sheet of paper, please answer the following questions. A. Why do you want to join the party? Explain in 4 paragraphs or 300 words. Number 3. What does woman liberation mean to you? 4. Describe your upbringing and how it relates to your experience with other oppression. Number 5. You are given the PCM, which is the Political Compendium Manual, to review. What do you agree with and why? And why did you agree with and why? Describe in your own words the ideal human society for you. Now, do you want to be an anti-imperialist comrade or a comrade member, and why? And then you're going to print your name and say, understand that by signing this application, you voluntarily submit a bid for comradeship in the Noble Young Lord Party. And by doing so, you agree to uphold all the teachings, philosophies, and disciplines of the Noble Young Lord Party. I furthermore understand that the Noble Young Lord Party is fundamentally a socialist party. I have read the Noble Young Lord Party PCM before signing. All right, so this is the application right here. Now right here is the definition of the coat of arms. That's what you see right here. See what you see on my patch right here? This is the coat of arms of the Noble Young Lord Party. All right, so let me break down the coat of arms of the Noble Young Lord Party. It says, Noble Young Lord Party, or United Revolutionary Nationalist Party, right? Partido Unidos del Revolucionario Nacionalista, coat of arms, represents the united struggle from various oppressed nations against the imperialists. The indigenous Mesoamerican symbols pay homage to the First Nations of the Americas and Caribbean lands. The roaring lion, check this out. Okay, boo. Oh, I said this was the coat of arms. It said roaring lion. I ain't got the roaring lion, all this other stuff on the patch. So this is just part of the coat of arms. So this is just the logo of the party, all right? All right, cool. So it says, now this is the logo right here. So you're going to see this on the flag. Inshallah, you're going to see this on the flag, you heard? Now, I mean, I got a twin right now working on this for me right there in Jersey and shit. You know what I mean? Shout out to the twin, you heard? It's called Crown Hats or Crown Heads on Instagram. All right? Now it says, the indigenous Mesoamerican symbols pay homage to the First Nations of the Americas and Caribbean lands. The roaring lion, ancient symbols of African civilizations, reminds us. Now, see the lion, the roaring lion, right? You see that smile, right? Now, the roaring lion, what it represents, right? It represents it says the African civilizations, all right? And it says the struggle faced within the diaspora, united to the Western Hemisphere, oppressed by culture, traditional bloodline, and labor. The roaring lion also reminds us of the indomitable will of this party to achieve our objective economic and social freedom of the proletariat, peasant, and the oppressed nation comrades from imperialist rule, the 16 words that drive the Noble Young Lord efforts. The largest star represents the new generation of revolutionary socialist struggle. Original Young Lords Party member Pablo Yoruba Guzman said it best. They can take any Young Lord now, because now they got to kill an idea. In addition, the words of Che Guevara reminds us why we pride ourselves on the word young regardless of our age. Stay young. Don't transform yourselves into old theoreticians or theorizers. Maintain the freshness and enthusiasm of youth. Out of love for the masses, truth in our analysis, peace within our friends and allies in order to achieve freedom for the people, justice for the imperialists, and death of so-called gang and criminal mentality, and the resurrection of the community-sensitive revolutionary. A new birth, a true revolution of the mind. The star reminds us all. The smaller black star represents the sacrifice of the unknown servants of the people. The most glorious symbol on the shield is the sickle. Now you'd have thought the crown was the most glorious symbol, right? That's what I would have thought too. You know what I'm saying? As an ancient king. But it is not the most glorious symbol. The most glorious symbol, right? It says the most glorious symbol on this shield is the sickle and the machete. Know what I'm saying? And the feminist symbol, because they in no uncertain way proclaim where our political beliefs and practice base themselves. We are socialists striving for the Maoist objective. We represent the struggle of proletariats, peasants, and oppressed nation comrades. The Soviet communist hammer is replaced. So basically, right, normally you would see the Soviet hammer, like Russia, that's the Soviet hammer. We're not Russian, you know what I'm saying? And we don't got that. So we got the machete, ¿entiende? All right? So because the oppressed nations of North America and the proletarian peasants of Central South America as well as the Caribbean are most familiar with this tool of labor, the feminist symbol lets the party and the masses know that the equality of women spelling attendant and the correct practice of men in relation to revolutionary feminists is a constant priority. Our greatest service to women struggle is to end imperialism, thereby ending the greatest supporter of patriarchy. The 3 points of the black coronet crown represents the 3 disciplines of the party. All right, so you see right here the 3-point crown, the coronet, not crown, it's called a coronet. It says it represents loyalty to your party, right? Loyalty to your party. No, loyalty to your party comrades and to the masses, to the people that we serve, right? Constant revolution against the imperialists and lackeys. And the sacrifice to your time, wealth, and strength. So it represents loyalty, revolution, and sacrifice. That's what a 3-point coronet represents for the noble young lord. Loyalty, revolution, and sacrifice. The coat of arms, the color schemes, right? The 3 symbols of the upper left and lower left of the shield. Also the lion on the lower right of the shield and the symbol on the right side inside the crossbar are all color gold. The larger star on the upper right side is color black and red with the gold border. See, they didn't do it right. The smaller star is colored solid black with a gold border. The sickle, machete, and feminist symbol are color black. Alright, color black, alright, with the gold border surrounding it. The backgrounds behind all the symbols except those drawn with the crossbar are blood red. You were supposed to put this red. Red is the background. Wow, red is the background. The coronet crown is solid black. Wow. Except for the 5 summits will be red, the stars inside the crown are the same color schemes as the larger and smaller stars in the coat of arms. Wow. So see, he put the background black. All right, so this, you know what? Future patches and everything else, I gotta get a red one now. Red gotta be the background. Got it. So listen, this is still official, you know what I'm saying? But I gotta get the next one. Oh shit. The next is gonna be red.
Why do you have any knowledge?
Because the Noble Young Lord party.
Could you do do you have to pay?
Mm-hmm.
How much?
Hold on.
When if you do that, then you can get the internet back.
Is that I have so much bills. I have so much bills. But wait, I'm doing a video thing. And
So that will give you more money?
No.
Well,
See, that's
that will
why.
make you strong.
But that's why we believe in socialism. We don't believe in those bills. A lot of bills. Those are capitalists.
I know that.
All right. So that's a beautiful thing. All right. So now let's get into this right here. It says, now this is the paper right here. See, y'all thought I forgot the Lock and Key show. I was just giving y'all the No We On Those party, you know what I'm saying? Giving y'all the breakdown to that. Now I'm giving you the update, the manifestation. So even, I should know better. So they gonna be like, yo, I did say black background, right? So what I wanna do, right? I gotta go to the store. Nah, it's gonna be mismatched. I can't do that. So it's gonna have to be a black background. But the next one, I gotta get it a red background. You know what I'm saying? Because the red background, that's the communism, that's revolution. You know what I mean? That's the bloodshed. You know? Que viva la revolución. Que viva Puerto Rico y Cuba libre. You see now for My Ways International Ministry, you see their symbol? They have the hammer and the sickle. And they know that the Novion laws, we don't have the hammer, we have the sickle and the machete. Because the machete for Boricuas represents independence. The independence of Puerto Rico. It represents socialism. It represents the left, not the right. So the machete doesn't represent the Commonwealth. The machete doesn't represent Puerto Ricans that want to become a state. The machete represents Puerto Ricans that want Puerto Rico to become free, independent, and revolution. Now, mind you, the My Ways International Ministry of Prisons, right, also have a 5-point, they have a 5-point platform, right? So meaning, let's say we're in prison and whatnot. Oh, I like this. All right, let's say we're in prison. Mad different organizations are part of the United Front for Peace in Prison. But I'm trying to find, let's see something. It says, unite or die. This is a galvanizing poetic call to action. The Soledad comrade George Jackson once declared capitalism is the enemy, meaning you and me, the common man and woman of poverty, are more family than enemy. Because we are poor, fighting a common enemy of imperial elite capitalism, not to allude to the today system American racism. There's truly no time for us to be killing and fighting each other. In a clenched fist alliance, a peaceful defiant display of unity and excellence, unite or die, is a true rallying cry. Wherefore we must join forces and overthrow the corrupt, racist, imperialist, capitalist American government and go the clenched fist alliance, a resolute display of resistance and defiance. There's no time to pray, march and cry. It's either unite or die. Truly, unity is the most dominant. In the face of all inequality, we are living in a truly provocative span of time. So what is it going to be? Unite or die. And commit to memory. Capitalism is the enemy. We must unite or die. That's from the Under Lock and Key. See, that's all I like getting from the computer, but right now, the internet is down, so I'm using the actual newspaper. Now, this other one right here is called Community, right? It says Community. They say we are burning down our own community. They must be looking at the wrong TV. According to Webster, a community is a body of people living in the same place under the same laws, society at large, joint ownership, The people with common interests living in a particular area, based on this definition, we have no community. We own no major corporations, no assets, no property. We get no equal service and protection of law in any of these territories. Like the Palestinians being occupied by the Israelites, all we are experiencing here is American apartheid, portrayed as aliens, second-class citizens, animals on Channel Live. This would not be happening in our community. Our schools and education would not be getting determined by capitalist imperialists, white supremacist owners of our ancestry. In our community, the police will be police, not pigs, pro-imperialist goons who hate us with dignity, lynching us like dogs in the streets, with guaranteed impunity, not accountability. In our community, 94% of our annual spending will be on our own products and services. Rent and interest rates will not be discriminatory. We will be landlords. We will have our own banks, investing our own savings in our own community interests with appreciation and thanks. We will own our own means of production, selling our labor to each other and receiving fair wages, top dollars. The only community we ever had was burned to the ground in 1921. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. Let's not forget Black Wall Street, where the owners of corporation and property looked like us, thought like us, act like us. Everything there was for us, by us. The courtrooms in our community will be egalitarian and just. We wouldn't be getting lynched in the streets or being incarcerated, railroaded for profit. This is not our community. Burn it down to the ground. This is not our community. Burn it down to the ground. All right, this is the Underlock and Key Show. All right, assalamu alaikum. Paz para vosotros. Peace be unto all. Comrade salute. Revolutionary love. Noble salute. All right, militant discipline. All right, we are the Vanguard Party. Yes, sir. Comrade salute. Revolutionary love. Assalamu alaikum, peace, power to the people. Pa'lante, siempre pa'lante. Positive evaluation always cause elevation. Positive education always correct errors. Peace. Revolutionary love. Power to the people. Pa'lante, siempre pa'lante.